ChaosMole, and today we have some more information on Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader. As you know, the new game by Owlcat was just announced a few weeks ago at the Warhammer Scouts event, and it basically combines Pathfinder with Warhammer 40K. And, well, let's be also real here, the trailer we have seen didn't really tell us a lot about what to expect from the game and where we are going. Now, unfortunately, we do not have a new trailer. That would have been really neat, but we got an interview with Owlcat where they was going a little bit more into the details of what to actually expect from Rogue Trader, the game. And there are a lot of interesting tidbits here, so I will tell you about it now, and you can watch the trailer again in the background. It's just to fill the void. So the biggest question I have definitely seen is like, okay, at which time is this playing? Like, at which year or timeline we are in? And they haven't given us an exact date, unfortunately, but it sounds very much like this is maybe around the Great Crusade. It definitely sounds like it, because they are saying that they also wanted to show like the freedom you have as a rogue trader, and that you don't really have like a lot of this grim, dark, all-out warfare all the time. Like, it seems like the Empire is still very much at the point where they are not completely eradicating aliens the moment they see them, right? But there is still like a little bit of civilization there, right? And so this might be around the Great Crusade. Again, they didn't give us a date. They were not going into details, unfortunately, but they said like the time this is playing in is where eternal warfare hasn't completely taken over yet, right? So I assume it might be around the Great Crusade, which also gives you a lot of freedom. They also talked about you being a rogue trader. So it seems like you will have more freedoms. Like, people were wondering if you were just playing as a human, which they also didn't completely confirm or deny. They said that you are like the son or daughter of the rogue trader we have seen in the trailer, but you are not a super close relative. Like, you are, I think you got adopted, if I understood it right, in the interview they had, and so you have more freedom when it comes to the character creation. So maybe you can even play something else than a human, which would be a bit problematic, because even back in the day, Elder, for a matter of fact, didn't really work for the Empire as a rogue trader. So I think it will be just you being a human, but you have maybe some more freedom in some of the things, how your character looks like. And they also made it clear again that yes, Rogue Trader will be a complete turn-based combat. Yep, there will be no action combat. This time they completely want to focus on the turn-based. Now, if you're wondering why, they say that they can apparently highlight and showcase some of the abilities better, and some of the special capabilities your followers are bringing to the table. So for the combat, it seems to be better. I know that some people will not be happy about that and will say like, no, I always like the action combat in Pathfinder. Oh, no, I have to do turn-based. I get it. I always liked the idea that you had options, right? I was somebody who played Pathfinder in turn-based mode, but I know a lot of people who actually played it in the real-time strategy mode, and they really love that, right? So taking that away, not a fan of it, but it also probably takes a bit of development time from them. And it makes development easier, because keep in mind, in Pathfinder, you basically had to balance everything so that it would make sense in turn-based mode and in real-time mode, right? and that probably did cost them a lot of extra time. So focusing only on one battle mode, not everyone will like it, but I can see why they're doing it. Then, of course, they also talked about the RPG mechanics, where there will be tons of decisions, there will be tons of factions, you can solve problems, you are, of course, doing the quests, and yes, you can completely fall to the forces of chaos. You can be completely corrupted, and you can be a very, very evil person in the game, which is kind of cool. Like, I'm kind of curious how they are doing it. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. Especially what is interesting, because we are still in the time where, you know, the Empire is not the completely murderous machine it will become later down the Warhammer 40K line. You can also work with factions together, and with like Elder, for an example, or some other faction. The Empire nowadays would not even look at. Right? That is the freedom you're getting as a rogue trader, and the timeline this is playing in, right? So that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat that they're also going for that. They also said that they want to bring like some of the gameplay ideas of Fantasy Flight into this game. So if you don't know exactly who the hell is Fantasy Flight, Fantasy Flight has made multiple card games and some tabletop games here and there for Warhammer 40k, for Star Wars. They are a company who also seems to be a little more action oriented than what they do. So it seems like they took some ideas from what they are bringing to their games, and they said that we are not directly transferring all the mechanics from Fantasy Flight, but you will find some familiarity when you play the game and you have ever played any of the Fantasy Flight games. Which, as somebody who has never played the Fantasy Flight games, I'm kind of curious about what that means. Yeah. But I think those were like the biggest points they were showcasing. Like, as always, you will have to make tons of decisions. Those decisions will influence what will happen in the world and what will happen ultimately to yourself, your crew, and the Chronos system you are in. Like, if you have played Pathfinder 2, Wrath of the Righteous in particular, you will find like a good chunk of similarities between those games. And yeah, sounds good. I'm again very curious to see like which timeline we are playing in and which time. Maybe it's after the Great Crusade. I say it's in the middle of it. Like, it's hard to tell a bit, because there were a few things I've seen in the trailer which were like, this should be after the Great Crusade. Like, when it came to certain technology, and like especially the Space Marine you see sometimes in the artwork, that looks very much like armor which came out after the Great Crusade. So, you know, we have to see which timeline this is playing. I think that is the biggest question. But it very much sounds like we will not be completely up to date when it comes to the lore, which I'm okay with. I don't mind too much. But yeah, you can, as I said, you can commit full heresy. You can completely go screw the Emperor, screw the Empire, and become a heretic if you so desire, which should be neat. I'm really kind of curious. If you're wondering if they would do it right, they have done so, in my opinion, with Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, where you had multiple choices to become absolutely and corrupted and evil. And not just the evil like in Mass Effect games where you were just a big dick, but really killing everything and everyone around you and basically enslave the population of the world you were in. Like, it was really dark. It was really grim dark. And I think that will fit Warhammer 40k perfectly. But yeah, that's the information we got now from Rogue Trader. I will link the interview, if you want to read it yourself, down below in the video description, so you can check it out. And with that said, if you enjoyed this video, I would also appreciate if you leave a like. If you want to see more Rogue Trader videos and also Warhammer 40k and other stuff I'm doing here on the channel, I would appreciate if you might subscribe. If you want to go even further in supporting me, there is a Patreon link, which is patreon.com/ChaosMole, where you can support me and you will get ad-free access to my podcasts, early access to one of my podcasts, and more. So make sure to check that out. And again, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed your stay here. And most importantly, stay safe. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.